realize now is there's no such thing as perfection. There's no human alive who has ever been perfect. There's only people that have done either way above what's expected or have done a phenomenal job as opposed to but even that, even Michael Jordan scoring 55 points, even Kobe having an 80-point game, that's not perfection. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's always room to say, well, how come he didn't score 100?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as perfection, and that's something that people place on themselves because we're always in this search to be the lion on the top of the hill.
Welcome to On Da Chow. I'm your host, Tragedy Khadafi, along with my co-host, Mr. A.
What up, what up?
Here at On Da Chow, the guest comes through and makes their signature dish just for you. Food for thought, real conversation. Y'all make sure y'all do the dishes on the chow. Let's go. Listen, you're back on the chow with Tragedy Khadafi. You know what I'm saying? Liaison done with my co-host, Mr. A.
Yo.
And we got a guest right here today. We got Mike Geronimo. You know what I'm saying? The official natural. It's all going down. We back in the building. And what we doing today? What are we making today?
We make a direct deposit, bro.
That's what you call this?
I call this the direct deposit.
I like that. Why direct deposit, yo?
Because on Thursday when you check your account, or Friday, depending upon how your payment is established,
What you
which is usually the meal that complements I got paid on that day.
Act right. Wifey, this the wifey act right, man.
Right.
That's the good.
Or you could call this honey, I'm home.
Honey, I'm home.
Right. If you when you out there, you busted your ass all day and you thinking, what would I love to eat when I get home? I can guarantee you, 9 out of 10 males in this world, this is the first meal that comes into their head.
Steak and potatoes.
You can't go
I like
wrong.
that. I like you a natural for real. Listen,
Talking my language.
listen. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna come
I
back.
tell you.
We're gonna come back with direct deposit, aka Honey, I'm home with Mike
Right.
Geronimo. This is
Yes,
how we
sir.
giving it up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Boom!
On the chow.
This is how we direct deposit.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with potatoes first.
We're gonna rinse them things down.
So first we just gonna peel the potatoes, get the skins off. Some people save the skin actually and throw it into the pan.
I feel like you kind of spent me, man. Because
What
when
you
I first hit you up to come on the show, you was like, "Yo, I don't cook. I ain't a cook." You look like
I'm not a cook. I never said I can't feed myself though when I get hungry.
Talk about it.
You
Talk
understand what I'm
about it.
saying?
Talk about it.
Well, like I said, a lot of this I credit my dad for. My dad, you know, he's in the military, he was a cop, but he was a very self-reliant, independent person.
No doubt.
So everything from hospital corners on my bed, a quarter better be able to bounce off the sheets when it's made.
Oh, he was on that, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, you get older and this shit you appreciate because you start to realize why, you know, so. And I know dudes who don't cook, don't do laundry, don't do none of that. And that never made sense to me, bro, because bottom line, if you're trying to get something done and you want to get it done, you got two choices: either learn how to do it or depend on someone else to do it for you.
That's an artifact.
You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, well, how we came up, it wasn't no, let me wait for someone else to do it.
Okay.
And my dad was good in the kitchen, so when I was a kid, I would watch what he did. He made the world's best hamburgers, hands down.
What was his recipe for the hamburgers?
Mainly, believe it or not, salt and pepper usually makes everything taste good. Usually. I mean, you could get flour with it, add a little Lowry's, you know. Lowry's is in everybody's cabinet.
But sometimes people do too much with it.
Yeah.
You want to keep it nice.
You want to keep it nice. You don't want to overpower. You never want to over-season your food. Because then you're not really tasting what it is you cook. You're just tasting what you put on top of it.
Talk about
You
it.
understand what I'm saying? But hamburger's easy. You season them both sides. Cook about 20 minutes. I like mine, you know, nice, well done like that. And my kids love them.
That's what it is.
So I guess it flowed through.
That's what it is.
Same, well done burger for
So
this.
what we doing? We peeling all these potatoes right here?
Well, I don't know.
I think Mr. At was right. I think we should help you out.
You could.
So we could get through this. I'm going to rinse these two right here. You know
So
what I'm
these
saying?
is good. And then after you peel them, you just put them in the water, let them soak, and that's just to make it easier for the knife to go through.
Copy.
And you cut them according to how you want them in width.
For those of y'all just tuning in, we're peeling potatoes for fries with no other than Mike Geronimo, and you're on the chow officially.
Yeah. These are good peelers, by the way, too.
Brand new.
Where you get these from? Home Depot?
Shop and Save.
Shop and Save? Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. What, like they was hanging like above the like?
Yeah, those are in the
It's
back.
always
I had
the
to ask.
freezer aisle. It's always the freezer aisle.
I had to ask the
when you
manager.
find- Yeah.
I said, yo, I need some like really ill potato peelers.
And he's like, oh,
And he opened the back door, went downstairs. Shit was crazy.
that's what's up.
Believe it or not, I can't even remember ever using a patilla peeler.
A potato healer?
That's all right. That's all right.
What you was using is the knife.
Look at Danny
The
laughing.
old school.
I
the
always
old
use the
school-
knife.
There we go.
I mean, you know what? You could do it that way. Like, I mean, if you got to do it, and you have to do it, so you can use a knife. If you're really good, you could use a razor blade, like I was talking about in Goodfellas. This niggas think it's bullshit. You can use a straight razor, not the double one, but the single joint. It's just I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, me either. That reminds me of Goodfellas when he was chopping the
When
razor,
he
chopping the garlic up
when
with
he
the
chopped
razor and all that.
garlic up. But it came out heavenly. It melted in the pan when he put it in there.
Yeah, listen, if you want to be ultra gangster, you can use
You
a
could do
razor.
that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't recommend it.
I mean, neither. Like,
I don't even recommend being ultra gangster.
No, that too. To be honest, yeah. To be honest.
But I'm doing all right. How you doing, Mr.
Doing
Act?
all right. I got one down.
All right.
One.
I got one down.
One. Just
Yo,
think.
Mike, I got a question for
What's
you.
up?
Mike Geronimo, where did that come from? The Geronimo. I know your name is.
I
Mike.
always wanted to ask you that too.
Well, my man in school, Hanif, we used to call him Fred. Shout out to Fred. So if I got in trouble, like with the school security or the dean or whatever,
This potato
and
looks
we'd be in the
suspect.
lunchroom, he'd just be like, oh, Geronimo, and everybody start laughing because it'd be like, oh, you going down again. And then, you know, my real name was Mike, so I just put the spun on it, and then ironically enough, like the first rhyme I really wrote was called Mike Geronimo.
Okay.
And so I just ran with it. I remember like, I wanted to change it, and Irv was like, nah, I shit got a ring to it. And the rest was history.
It does resonate, the name.
You know, so
You told me you had your phone.
I just stuck with it.
That's what's up.
You know.
To me, it's always better when you get anointed with the name, opposed to like being self-appointed. That makes sense to
Yeah,
you?
it do, because it means more if somebody else passed the name to you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But it's funny because as time went by, you know, like, and I started looking at my own lineage. Like, my family's Blackfoot, Indian.
Okay.
And I believe they had close ties to, it was either Sitting Bull or Geronimo, one of the two. Like
Okay.
the tribe that they're actually from. So one of my cousins went on like Ancestors.com, but we always...
Recently.
It wasn't too long ago, but I mean, when we were growing up, like my family in North Carolina would always tell me about my great-grandfather, Augusta,
Okay.
and he was actually a Blackfoot chief. But something that happened, I think it was some racial shit or whatever, and he had to like skip out real fast from where he was. Yeah, but we actually have Native American in our bloodline.
That's what's up.
It was just weird how it all came together. You know what I mean?
Speaking of coming together,
What's up?
and I know we're gonna get into more later, but I'm listening to It's Time to Build.
Mm.
And who's on the X?
Me, X, Hov,
Ja.
and Ja.
All before they dropped
Yeah,
in Blue.
yeah.
How'd that come together?
Gotti had a lot to do with it. Like, I already knew Rule at that point. I think I knew X at that point. But,
Rest in peace to DMX too.
rest in peace to my bro. But, basically, like, while Gotti was working on what we were doing, he was also linked in with, like, you know, with Hov and Rockefeller and X with DNY. Yeah, so I knew Rule. We clicked automatically with him, you know, so he played the track for me in the studio, and the minute I heard it, I was like, yeah, I like that. Like it actually surprised me because the first couple of tracks he gave me, they were cool, but they wasn't, you know, they wasn't whoa.
Yeah.
And then when he gave me the Time to Build track,
he was in transit. He was in his process, so to speak.
Yeah, but you know Irv always has it mapped out.
Irv Gotti is brilliant. Yeah. You got to say that.
Absolutely. Shout out to the bro Irv Gotti, but he knew what he wanted us to do. He knew what he wanted on it.
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, I'm gonna put X and Hov on there. You know, he wasn't even Hov at that time. He's like, I'm gonna put X and J on it. Mm-hmm. And then I came back. I think I laid my verse first. I think Rule laid his after mine. And then when we came back to the studio the next week, he played me the joints like with Hov and X on it. And like X verse had me like, wow, cause he just started it on like peeling niggas caps like oranges, hit them in the head with 2x4s and shit.
Yeah.
I'm a grimy nigga, so I like too much dirt to turn back now. I'm the reason my little sister smoking crack now. So I heard that, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Just while we on X, graciously respectfully.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Graciously, respectfully to the brother, man. We were actually like, you know, right before he passed, we was actually in Miami with him at Smoke Champs.
Yeah.
And Mr. At wanted to battle him and challenge him in pool. So we was about to leave because I was sauced.
You know me, man.
You know how it is when you go to drink champs. You go to drink champs.
Yeah, you was on 10. You was on 10.
Really,
So,
you was on
15.
Factual artifacts. I was like, yo, I see your ad, yo. I was like, just look. I was like, yo, it's time to go.
Right.
You know how you feel it coming on? Like, I'm about to get crazy out here, and I can't do too much more of this without doing too much more of this.
Right.
So I was like, yo, he was like, nah, I gotta play DMX and pool.
I was like, yo, we are not leaving, brother. Like, I gotta take this moment.
Did you know how
I need
much
to
he
play
played
him.
pool?
I did.
Okay.
I did. But I saw he was playing.
Keep it real. You wanted no. Keep it green back. No. You wanted to beat him for. He was like, yo, I want to beat him for some money. I want to beat him for some money.
Really?
Yo, that's what he said.
He played like 4 games and people were just playing.
What?
So I was like,
What?
Who's
Yo,
when it was my turn.
Nah, he was quiet.
He was chilling.
He was quiet. You wouldn't even have known he was there.
That's
Yeah.
kinda...
When it was my turn, I was like, yo, I asked him like, yo, you want to throw down
Respectfully,
some money?
yeah, respectfully.
He's like, nah. I was like, why not? He's like, people got too many rules when they play for money. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's right. So we just played it, and he won by 2 balls.
Yeah.
But it was a respectful game.
I wanted to go. The reason why I brought it up because what he said while they were playing pool.
Let's move this.
Yeah, I wanted to go,
Let's move this shit up.
and At was like, yo, but I want to beat him in a game of pool, and I thought about like, damn, that's a heavy mark to beat DMX.
Or
to
even
say,
to play him.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
DMX.
But you did want to bet $100, respectfully.
For sure.
But
Why not?
me and DMX started chopping it up, and I was like, yo, it's good to see you doing well. And he was like, yo, the Warriors make it back. Yeah. And that shit stayed with me. And then when he went through the situation of his passing, that hit me, man, and like that just stayed with me. Like the Warriors make it back, man. And when I first found out he was in the hospital, I was like, yo, the Warriors make it back. I hit him with that. He made it back. He just made it back further than I guess we both expected to. You know what I'm saying? And on that note, how you feel about health, man? Like we getting older. It's no secret. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is growing up. Yes. Hip hop is getting older. Let's stop stunting. You notice I didn't dye my joint today.
Right.
I got to
ask you about that.
Yeah, that's all great.
I skipped out.
But you've been rocking though. I seen you been rocking the salt and pepper. Yeah. I'm rocking the salt and pepper while I'm making Hassenpfeffer right now. You feel me? And today I did that purposely with DMX in mind, Black Rob in mind, rest in peace, Shock G in mind, because hip hop is growing up and we got to take care of ourselves. How you feel about health conscious as we make these thick steaks? No freaking.
It's incredibly important, and it is not a joke. And my advice to anyone out there who thinks that it's something that you can overlook or you can put off or you can shrug to, don't. Because here's what the moment of truth doesn't do. It doesn't give you a message that says, hey, this is the last day because you didn't take care of your body, and I'm just gonna give you forewarning. It doesn't work that way.
It's an artifact.
It doesn't, you know, and it's difficult enough as is if you're just genuinely growing older. But we all here, all three of us know when you give your life to performing and you're traveling and you're going from state to state or you're going from country to country and you're
Yeah, we was talking about that earlier, yeah.
You're staying up late, you're having long days, you're performing.
And doing other things.
Doing other stuff, like, and you can't run around and be drinking Hennessy all damn day long and then think you're gonna hop on somebody's stage and be okay.
That's a artifact,
and even if that ain't what you're doing, you just can't do that. You know what I mean? And with me, it's different now, bro, because everything I do now, I think of the kids and I think of Shelly, my wife.
Yeah. Peace to Shelly, peace to the wives, peace to Sita.
April, Wonder Woman.
Nessa?
Right, but you think of them with everything you do.
Yeah.
And so now my goals aren't the same. My goals used to just be, all right, I want this out of life, I want that out of life. When they got here, everything became, okay, I gotta make sure I'm here for them every single day for as long as possible.
Like the King Yala always say, you stop becoming a me player and become a we player.
Exactly.
I think that's how he said it.
Real talk. So everything I do now, bro, I'm keeping Michael, Matthew, and Morgan in mind. And the biggest thing that I do off top.
And Shelly.
And Shelly. Absolutely. And so health is paramount.
That's a factory.
There's a lot of things. I mean, I'm fortunate in the sense of I stopped with Hennessy and all that shit years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like years ago. I just went through this whole period of self-evaluation, and I guess it was just my time to do certain things differently.
Yeah, go to the next floor, go to the next level, so to speak.
So I had already been on that, so I don't really drink too tough. I mean, socially, that's all right. You know, I drink a hell of a lot of water.
That's good.
I think water is the best thirst quencher.
Yeah, because we got some water for you. We got some water for you, and we got some wine, too.
Lit.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, wine, stuff like that. I do that. Like I said, I'm not. Don't turn yourself into a Mother Teresa, because I mean, and bottom line, when it comes to stuff like that, which you pretty much are rewiring your brain. You're telling your brain you want to do things different.
Wait, hold on, time out. I don't mean to cut you. Do you see what he's doing? He's cutting perfect steak fries.
I told you, this is it.
He's cutting perfect steak fries right now. My geyser.
This is. I told you, Reg taught me all of this, bro. This is
Peace to Reg.
Straight Reg.
While we on the topic of goals and goal changing, I gotta say this. I remember not that long ago, a couple years back, we was actually in front of the mansion, and me and you was talking, and you was like,
You thought I lost my mind.
you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm about to say. You was like,
What?
you was like, I was like, yo, you gonna do another record? You was like, nah.
Yeah.
Mike, what changed? You doing records now. I'm going to your release. We're going to your release party on Thursday. Something changed, bro, Zay.
Well, it is what happened.
I'm glad I told you wasn't going to leave,
You
though.
did. You did. Both of y'all did, actually.
What happened?
Life. Life. And whatever it is that's bigger than all of us that says, look, I got something that you got to do. And my dad. So, when you spoke to me at that period of time, I was pretty much, I think I was just starting the locksmith business. Was it? I think,
Yeah,
or
it was
I,
new.
It was either I just started it. Or
you didn't have it too long.
Right.
I know that.
Yeah, because my schedule wasn't nearly as crazy. I remember that though. So I had, if you really want to know all of it, I left TVT, and when I left TVT, I went out to a place called East Mauritius.
Where's that?
That's in the Hamptons.
Okay.
And a good friend of mine was so concerned about me.
Damn, you can put these in the bag and sell these just off the look. Wait a minute. Hold this up. Are we getting this on camera?
But see, here's the beauty.
This shit is looking nice.
See, here's the thing about when you make from the potato, none of them are identical. size varies. You got slim ones, you got thick ones, and that's half the fun of them. And it's hearty. It's a hearty fry.
It just looks good. That's what I'm
It's gonna
saying.
be good.
That's what I'm saying. All right.
So
I believe you.
I went out to East Mauritius, and I had a car accident too, not too long. I mean, like a couple of years.
Right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had a bad car accident.
You said that in the record. I didn't know that, but you said that in the record how you went through the windshield. Yeah.
Yeah, like I actually had got thrown through the back windshield of the vehicle.
Wow.
And I landed on the opposite side of the BQE. So I landed on the side where the traffic was coming at me.
What was that?
Like I don't remember us hitting the wall. I don't remember the car turning over. I just remember somehow I had ended up like along the divider embankment. Like there's the 3 lanes here that we're in, and then the 3 lanes of the oncoming traffic. And I landed like on this side, right by the concrete.
Yeah.
And I'm like this, bro, like sitting, like on it, and I just like leaned up. I was like startled, and I just felt like somebody dumped water on my lap, and I was like, why is my lap wet? And I was like, why are my hands soaked? And then I just looked down. I was like, it's not water, that's you. And it was just blood all over my hands. And then I was like, oh, okay. I went back and I fainted. And some dude, I'll get to him like down the line, but this dude with dreads, all I remember was dreads, and I remember him clutching my hand. I could hear Milk, like, oh my God, that he's gonna die. And the guy's like, yo, I know who you are, don't die, just hold my hand. And I kept squeezing his hand.
That is real.
And there was a truck that cut off the traffic from coming towards me. So there's like a lot of shit in my favor after it all like went down or whatever.
A good man could have been gone.
Absolutely.
But a good man is back.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to come back with this meal. Not to cut you on the add on. We're going to come back with this meal and get this thing right, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Good to have you here,
Only
man.
soldiers make it back,
That's
right?
right.
That's it.
That's right.
Don't put them in water.
Okay.
Because
Why?
now you're gonna drop them in the hot oil. So just put them in the bowl, let them
All right.
chill out.
Look how good these fries look, man. Like
And
how
you can season them too while they're in the bowl.
All right.
So sometimes I'll take some Larry's and put them on top.
What you
Put
gonna
'em
use
on-
today? You gonna use
We
Larry's?
could use salt, pepper. If he has Larry's available, if there's Larry's here, we could definitely
I
use
think we
some
got some Larry's, right?
I don't know.
Let's
What are
take a
Larry's?
look.
I don't even know.
It's the season salt.
Teach me. I don't cook, bro. Mike, I don't cook.
That was an ill stuck moment. Nah,
You
but
both got stuck.
no, that's an ill. But listen,
You see, I did the like.
Yeah, he
like
said,
the game
whoa.
He
show,
went,
like,
whoa, he shook a little bit.
nah, but
He
he
went,
was
whoa.
How do you not know the one question we all know the answer to?
No.
it's all good. Long as I got it.
He got it.
Long as I got it.
Exactly.
So,
No, but I was gonna say is like
what's up?
most artists that I know, even Mr. A included, most artists that I know, they're not just good at doing one thing. They're good at doing different things.
You know what's funny? You reminded me of Rob. God bless. Because Black Rob used to always tell me, he used to always be like, yo, Mass, you ain't never been no one-trick pony, Mass.
That sound like Rob
one-trick
too.
pony,
That
Mass.
sound like Rob.
Yeah, shall rest in peace, Rob.
Rest in peace, Rob. Rest in peace,
Love
Black
you, bro.
Rob.
We are.
Peace to chaos, man. My
But,
brother, my brother.
Like I said, when we was growing up, bro,
What is this, sea salt?
Yeah, sea salt. But sea salt actually isn't a bad salt to use, like for the potato.
So you're mixing it up while you throwing
Yeah,
salt on there.
don't just like do it on the top layer, like
Get
let
in.
it go around.
Get in.
Through.
The pepper, I would say, don't put on there. Do that like after we fry it.
I want to say this. I want to say that one thing about On Da Chow, one of the main premises about On Da Chow is that the artist comes on and makes their favorite dish
Yep.
for you.
yeah. Oh,
So
hell yeah.
and that's the takeaway from, not the takeaway from Mr. Act, not knowing what Lowry season salt
Oh, you
is.
got to bring it back. Man.
No, because I want the people to understand, because they might
But
look at it.
also, let's not forget that he didn't know Larry Caesar.
But
so-
that's okay.
Underline it.
But that's okay. See,
alright.
you're not getting what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's not for Mr. Act to know what season salt is, Lowry season salt is, because that's not what the show's necessarily about. The show's about your favorite guest coming on and making their dish.
True.
Right.
So I was
trying-
actually,
I'm looking
come on, bro.
to
The alley-oop.
Yeah.
Actually,
Let's get to the steak.
no, not that.
Not yet?
Not that. Wait, I'm looking.
going through the.
No, that's nacho cheese.
That's not your cheese.
This is like, you can kind
That
of
look
use
like some
it.
Cajun Bayesian. That's Cajun?
You can use this. Yeah, now I do that too. When I want to
See?
get slick, I'll use Old Bay.
I know.
And I'll make the
I know
Cajun
Old Bay.
fry.
Listen, hold on, yeah.
I know Old Bay.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows ours.
No, I meant Old Bay.
So the Old Bay, you can use that for Cajun fries. This, hold on, let me see what this is about.
Taste test.
We could do it.
Okay, all right. Let me see this. Cause I like to learn, to listen.
What it
and
don't
listen and
have,
learn,
it
too.
don't have that kick that Old Bay has.
Everything spicy.
Right. This is just like yo default. Like yo, if you don't, you can rock with it if you need to.
Yeah, you get around with it.
But if you want to get tricky with it, take some Old Bay and you'll have the best Cajun fries. And some people use the oven. Me, I don't really use the oven. I like to make the fries actually in the pan. It's just better that way to me.
I like the way you mixing it up. Speaking of mixing it up, we was
What's up?
watching your Drink Champs interview, and there was some comments in there.
About
One was how Flush is a good friend to have.
right.
Oh, in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like what people said?
Yeah,
they were like?
have you looked at those?
Not really. It's funny that you mention it because I think this weekend was probably like the first time I ever sat down and went through some comments, and I was like, well, yeah, the majority of it, people had good things to say.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me.
Yeah.
That was
They
enough.
say that's like one of the best.
One of the best ones.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Another
But
one.
I'm listening. What's that?
Another one that kept coming up though was that you didn't get to finish your Tupac story. That no one ever heard.
I saw that and I'm like, well, what do they think that I didn't finish talking about? Because I did.
There was one that was supposedly unheard.
Oh!
That was never didn't get finished. That
Yeah,
was,
but
that was
you know
in the
what?
comments.
I said to myself, it's funny because I said to myself, God is on time because maybe that's not a story you need to tell. It's not a bad story, but it was just, I'm going to keep that one for myself.
Okay.
I'm going to keep that one for myself. But
When you keep it for yourself, you mean you're gonna tell them on your show?
no.
All right. I just gotta ask.
It's going to stay in this database
Hey, baby.
until this
Okay.
database don't
Please,
Nah,
exist
but
anymore.
those everybody loved. Everybody was saying that's the best one,
Hold on, we got to see if the oil's hot.
You use the water?
and it was definitely.
No,
up
but
there,
what you
up to
do,
test it.
bro, if you want to see if the oil is right, just dip your finger on the sink and go like that. Once you see it popping,
You know what it is.
yeah,
The temperature's there. The temperature's there.
we almost there. Let it a little bit more.
Yo, bro, you was like probably one of the first hip hop reality. You kind of like you might have started loving hip hop.
Nah, I don't take credit for that.
You-
I just think that we were one of the first that like MTV chose to run an experiment on to see if this reality thing was gonna work.
And it
was
worked.
just-
I like it. I respect your modesty, respectfully. But if you're the first, then you started it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
That was
Alright, so
96.
you wanna give me
right?
that?
96.
Somewhere around that time, and the show was it was called Sex in the 90s. Like, it wasn't our show.
Right.
It was me and Milk, and then there were 3 other couples on the show.
Yeah.
But I guess they found us to be, I don't know, more interesting, or maybe we did more than the other couples.
yeah,
so
we watched that. It was funny. It's
They
hell.
found-
I remembered it from back in the day. I was like, yo, I remember he was on something, some kind of reality TV with his girl. She wanted him to move the booklet.
yeah, but no, we ended up moving because that's where she wanted to go.
That's how it goes.
And I remember that.
You remember that? I know you
Because you
remember
live not
that.
too far from
Right,
me.
and I'm.
You had the brownstone.
Remember when I was crying the blues about when we had when I was Neil?
Yeah, I remember that. I ain't gonna get into that yet.
Like that.
Because you had the brownstone, and then I bought a brownstone in Bed-Stuy.
Right. Mama, I was on Pier Part and Henry, right on the corner.
That's right. I
And
was
you
on
wasn't
Macon.
that-
That's right.
You wasn't that far from me.
That's right. We kind of bought our
You
brownstones at the
always
same
like
time.
ended up living not too far from me.
Every time.
Except when I went out to the Hamptons, but
Yeah.
everything else, you
That's
always
a
would
fact.
be like in walking distance of me.
And bump into you somehow.
The mansion? That's just
That's a
crazy.
fact.
It's right up the block.
Like when I saw y'all, I was like, the fuck? And they don't know, like our neighborhood is like, on that side, it's like, it's just real, like, first of all, there's not many of us in our neighborhood. Let's be real about it.
What do you mean when you say many of us?
There's not
What do
many
you mean
of
by
us. You know, there's not many of us that look that you know have some Isaac Hayes and those things in it. You see what I'm saying? So when I saw y'all there, and I took the cut through the side street.
Mm-hmm.
So and I was like, yo, I didn't even know you could walk through here. Matter of fact, I think that was like maybe the first time where I was like, well, where does this lead?
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know where that little cut takes you. Then I'm bumping the y'all niggas. I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy.
Yeah, we right across the street. Yeah, we officially on the chow. We got Mike Geronimo on deck in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Live living, everything gracious. He's dumping the steak fries that I have to say he cut very, very, very impeccably. Steak fries is cut very impeccably.
Me on Saturday now, like, yo, you gonna come make fries?
Yo,
nigga, I
son.
showed you what to do.
Direct deposit, son. Direct deposit, doobie.
Direct deposit.
Nah, but this is important when you place them in here. Cause I had a bad accident when I was a kid doing it.
You don't throw him in.
Don't throw them
The
in.
grease shoots back.
Right. So
You
when
know
I
what
was
I'm
a
saying?
kid,
Respect the shooter.
not knowing any of that fact. When I was a kid, I dumped them on, the grease popped on my face, and then I did the dum and went like this. So it peeled all the skin off.
Yeah,
Like,
that's how I got this right here. That's how I know about that.
so now, when you do put them in,
Lightly, light work.
light, don't go no more than 3 at a time.
That's right. And
make
just
sure
place
it's
them in.
spaced out.
Just place them in.
Mm-hmm. And then you put the go in
You make a direct deposit, but you make it lightly.
lightly. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Finesse.
That's all it's about.
And 2, don't overload the pot. So you may have to do a first round, let those cook.
You may have to circle the block and go double batch.
Exactly.
All right.
You already know.
All right.
So those are underway. Yeah. So just coat it a little bit with the EVOO. Let it warm up. Once it does, put the butter in there. Usually you go to the first line, the tablespoon. Me, I like butter, so I'm gonna go to the second line. Is it healthy? Probably not.
Are we on the borderline of? Excuse me, I don't mean to give y'all my back. This is a cooking show where the guest comes on and cooks their favorite dish just for you. And it's also a cooking show where the guest comes on and cooks, and I love to eat.
That's right.
So pardon me,
The
graciously,
beneficiary.
respectfully.
Wait, so do you want less butter or?
I
'Cause
want
I'ma do
how
like-
you make it
I
and
want
it tastes good.
Yeah. We wanted to.
Because I'm doing it like everything good to you ain't good for you. Is
Let's
this
do it
good
like that.
for you?
I think
Is it good to you?
Good to you. Yeah, we'll do good to you
I
today.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Is it good
Let
to
me
you?
just shut up and let Mike cook.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna step back and let Mike
Nah,
cook.
we good. We good.
Be gracious.
Mike, what's the onion? You gonna put that on the steak? Is that the plan for the
Last. That's what people
last?
fuck up. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you cook the onion in the pan with the steak, the juices from the onion, they fill the pan, and then it takes longer for the steak to get that sizzle you want. So don't do the onions until your steak is like you're either ready to take it out or you're almost ready to take it out.
And you want your onions to kind of have some form.
Right.
You don't want to be overcooked.
Me personally, I could do the steak without the sauteed onions. I just did it because I was like, yo, y'all, let's do it. Go
Yeah.
all out.
Yeah,
Sauteed
yeah.
onions all that.
I'm zeroing in on the steaks right now.
I know.
I want the steak with the most fat.
Let's see. So now we cut the onion up. Now this is nice.
I'm gonna throw this
size
away
onion.
for you, bro.
These is nice. Oh yeah. We cut these at. We cut these onions at.
Shop and Save over by over on Union Turnpike.
It's a nice onion.
We're about to have some other big supermarkets in there come at us for and do some situations like Trader
Yo, don't
Joe's.
forget your friends. Don't forget your friends. Yo, if you get a deal with Trader Joe's, lock me in, bro.
Lock you
Trader-
in, right?
yeah, Trader
Oh, that's
Joe's
why you
is-
said don't forget your friends.
Yeah, don't forget your friends. Don't act
No
like
doubt,
that.
no doubt. Never,
Don't act
never.
like that.
Nah, you know me, I'm ashamed.
Yeah, for certain. For certain.
again, we got Mike Geronimo on deck in the kitchen.
Yeah, for that.
I know that being from Queensbridge and being Tragedy Khadafi and having your Nas's and your Mobb Deeps, Hoda Noriegas, and the other various artists that come from Queensbridge, there was always a very high undertone of competition, an unspoken word.
Yeah.
Like we knew going in, like
it was
it's my people, but
it's Fight Club.
I gotta get it's Fight Club.
It's Fight Club.
Gladiator School.
Right, it's Fight Club.
Somebody's blood has to be on the arena's floor, and it can't be mine.
Right. Exactly.
You came up in an interesting time. You got Rockefeller. You got Double R. Got the Ink. Was there any time you felt a real intense
competition?
Competition.
Yeah, you always do. I think y'all, both y'all know, because both y'all spit. Like, a good MC is always gonna feel the pressure of a challenge. You actually want a challenge.
Because it brings out the
makes you
best.
better.
Yeah, it makes you better. So I felt the pressure of a challenge. Was I intimidated? Yeah, it was times.
That's real. I respect that.
Absolutely.
Sometimes that brings the better
Yeah, exactly. I tell anyone, you try going in the studio after Jay-Z and DMX and see if you don't feel it.
Yeah.
You know, so did I feel intimidated? Yeah, but in the same breath, I knew we was all the same squad. And I knew that all of us wanted us to be, we all wanted each of us to be the best that we could.
And you knew you had to deliver.
I felt the sense of pressure in the sense of, with me, I think it was a little different because I felt like, okay, I was the first, and because I'm the first, I have to be this and that and the third. And so I can admit that I felt the sense of okay, listen, make
a little more
certain,
pressure.
Yeah, there was
a little more pressure.
Yeah.
So you were before what was it, Cash Money Click? You were before that, right?
Right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so what happened is
the butter is going crazy right now.
Yeah, but I pulled the pan off the. That's crazy. Nature calling me while we cooking.
Nature, what up, baby? Nature, QB Kings.
It's too hot. We gotta do this over.
We gotta do this over?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's too hot.
Let's do this. Pour it here. Yeah, pour it right there.
Watch it's gonna be smoke.
Yeah. I'm with the smoke.
Yeah.
This happens. This happens when you're cooking. Sometimes, especially when you're cooking and you're talking like we are, you go a little over.
Don't know the stove.
Yeah.
So this stove ain't my stove.
Just break it down.
Yeah.
You can just do it like this. Give me that. Let me know you down.
This where you come in?
Nah, that's where I come in. And we just go like this.
A sin. That's oil.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna take some work.
That's all right.
Nah, but I did feel like, more of an obligation to do my best. And also, now that I look back at it, because hindsight is always 20/20, I think I put pressure on myself that I didn't have. Like
Why you say that?
Because at the end of the day, I think what I know now that I didn't then, or I think what I'm better at now than I was then is I don't worry as much about where I stand or what the view of me is gonna be or what the view of my performance is gonna be. And at that time, I was very, very, very concerned with. Yeah, we good like that.
Okay, I dropped out, bro.
I appreciate it. And at that time, I was so caught up in everything I do has to be perfect.
Yeah, you was your worst critic.
Exactly.
And best critic. And best critic.
And best critic. But what I realize now is there's no such thing as perfection. There's no human alive who has ever been perfect. There's only people that have done either way above what's expected or have done a phenomenal job as opposed to but even that, even Michael Jordan scoring 55 points, even Kobe having an 80-point game, that's not perfection. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's always room to say, well, how come he didn't score 100?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as perfection, and that's something that people place on themselves because we're always in this search to be the lion on the top of the hill. You understand what I'm saying? So now I look at it more so as it's not your job to be the lion on the top of the hill. If you just do what you do and you just believe in what you do, then you will end up at the top of the hill.
That's right, because you make, like you said in the joint, you make your, if they not giving you room, you create your own room.
Create your own, man.
When you said on the joint, you said,
wow, this cooks fast.
What's that?
Everything cooks
The fries?
fast. Yeah. Give me the bowl and the paper towel.
Oh, you need a plate in the paper.
Yeah, plate and the paper towel. Put the paper towel
I got
on
you,
the plate.
baby. I got you. I got an actual natural.
Yeah, I see it on this skillet, on this setup, you can't do a whole lot of keeping your head turning.
Yeah, you gotta keep it pushing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have this ready. I'm gonna have this batch for you right here, so you can go right in. Y'all already know the fries was in that bowl. We gonna go right there.
I like the fries to be well done.
I like mine soft. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna hold you.
So the next one we do, the next batch we do, I won't cook them as hard.
All right.
But go ahead,
How we doing over here on this pan? Cause remember last time.
That will. Okay.
See, you got assistance here.
Yeah.
Should I cut the butter and throw it in there?
Yeah. You could cut the.
Where we at on the butter? Right here.
2 lines.
1, 2.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And we'll just dump it in there.
Fast.
2 lines. Let's go. We got Mike G, Tragedy Khadafi in here.
We did this
Direct
before. We just
deposit.
did it in the booth.
Direct deposit.
Oh yeah.
We did this in the booth. That's all. We
Y'all
ain't
have
never
a
do it in the
joint.
kitchen.
Y'all have a joint together.
But you
Usual
can't say the
suspects.
fries are not a golden brown. They don't look.
That's how I'm.
You looking
that's
gracious.
perfect.
You looking gracious.
He was talking about perfection. I think you just displayed it
Nah,
right there,
you-
brother.
But
You
like
looking
I said,
gracious.
There's no such thing, bro. And I think when we first came out, a lot of it had to do with the fact too that like when we came in, bro, ain't nobody tell us nothing, bro. We didn't have no like, yo, this is how it's gonna go, and you know, we had to learn as we went. So that made me more so be like, okay, everything I do has to be 1,000.
And that cost a lot. I hate to cut you off because there's so much. There's so much I want the viewers to get.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times in these interviews, we don't even really. We're not able to get out everything we want to get out in that span of time. Like for instance, when you just said how, you know, we was just going through it, not even necessarily knowing exactly how to do it, but learning as we went along. Mm-hmm. And you were saying to me, you was like, yo, man, you must have gotten hit with paperwork that boggled your brain because I came before y'all. But see now, look at it now. Look at the game now and the many different opportunities that's out there that we're just becoming aware of, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's a lot.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot, and no one can say that it's not. It's a lot that goes on with when you choose to make this your endeavor. You understand what I'm saying? So
Contracts alone, like they just
contract.
when you
I'm listening.
why didn't you sign the pay? I know you spoke about it before, but just for again the viewer, we got Mike Geronimo here on the Chow.
On the chair.
Probably like I would be as bold to say like the template to the Murda Inc roster in terms of artists. Mike Geronimo would be. I think that's fair to say. You know what I mean? Why didn't you sign with Irv after being with him all that time? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like what was the contract like?
Well, it wasn't so much what the contract was like. It was more so the presentation that just had me like. And the way it all went was, let me just check this.
And I gotta say, I love Irv. You know.
Yeah, I love Irv.
I love
too.
Irv, man.
I think that's
Irv is
all.
a genius.
So I think a lot of people are under the belief that we don't have love for each other. We do. There's no way you could do what we did and not have a respect and a love for each other.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's because what we did was so much bigger than us. It changed a lot of lives in the process. Just to get back to the steak and what we're doing. So, little salt, little pepper. I know some people might do different things, but honestly, for a good steak, all it takes is salt and pepper and you're off and running.
Your pepper look a little heavy. I'm not shooting.
Well, the reason being,
Let's be clear. I'm not
hold on,
shooting.
Mike. I like a little kick.
All right.
A little kick. And you just place it lightly in the pan. I say maybe 5 minutes each side. Some people do 10 minutes each side just to get the brown going on. Then turn the flame down a little lower. Let the juices do what they do.
All right.
But that's where we at on that. But when we were talking about like herbs and everything, so what I didn't dig that herb did was he didn't tell me everything. So there was things he would tell me, but then there was also things that, you know, he's making plans for X, Y, and Z. And the whole thing with me is just tell me what's going on. And I get offended I get offended when I feel like there's something going on and you're not fully informed me. Or if you may feel as though I'm not intelligent enough to handle the news you're going to present. Which quite honestly, he would make me feel as though he's like, you know, I don't think you're sharp enough to handle it. So he wouldn't tell me certain things, and that's a mistake on his part. Now, as I said, when we came in, no one told us shit. So I pretty much was 18 years old. I had never said to myself, okay, my goal in life is to become a rapper. And I'm just graduating high school.
But is that his responsibility, though?
No, I'm just saying, I'm just putting this out. No, none of that is his responsibility. I'm saying that is to say I know zilch about the mechanics of the music industry. I don't know publishing. I don't know BDS. I don't know SoundScan. I don't know what leads to royalties. I don't know splits. I don't know percentages. I don't know anything. All I know is when I do this over this microphone and you record me, people say it sounds good.
People like it, yeah.
That's all I know. So, my manager at the time was my cousin, George Rowan. Shout out to George Rowan. And my road manager was my cousin Barnes. Shout out to B.O.
Got a lot of family involved.
Yeah. My dad actually was the one who said that my cousin George was involved in music. It might be a good idea for him to be my manager.
Okay.
So, we're at TBT, and George comes in as my manager, and he comes back and he gives me a breakdown of what everything is. So he explains to me, you know, that I had two choices. He's like, you can sign to Irv, which means that you would be signing to Top Dog Production, and that's his production company. Or you can sign directly to the label, which is what they wanted, which is you can sign and you'll be directly an artist to TVT.
So just for the people, for y'all that don't know, when he says he could have signed via Top Dog to TVT, Top Dog would in a sense serve as the middleman, the liaison.
The liaison.
As opposed to being direct to the plug,
Plug.
which would have been TVT.
Now still, I don't realize, like, all right, why is that such a big deal? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so we back right now, and we doing a direct deposit with Mike Geronimo. Hey, in case you didn't know, this is Mike Geronimo, the legendary, and we on a steak game right now, On Da Chow.
Yeah.
So how we doing this steak right here? Like, what's the science?
It's not a lot to be done, because the steak, the cool thing about steak is it's all your preference. You might be a medium rare person. You might be a rare person. You might be the weirdo who loves steak tartare. I'm not into shit like that. You might like well done. So depending on what you texture, how you want the texture of the steak, if you want a medium well, 10.
So you can make this one well done.
If you like,
I love it that way.
you say less. You
All right.
got that.
You like the steak well done?
Sometime. Let's get it on the steak
I
right
didn't know
quick.
that.
So we'll let it cook a little more on each side. Just brown it though on both sides first, and then the side that you like when you do flip it, leave it on the side that you flipped it on. Don't go back to the first side that you run. That's what people
Okay,
mess
so you
up.
stay on the second side.
Stay on the second
You stay
side.
on the B side.
Stay on the B side and turn the flame down.
Factual, like a single. Listen, in case you just tuning in, earlier when I spoke to Mike Geronimo, I asked him how one time we were in front of the crib, and I asked him would he come back in the game, and he said no, never. And this is how he said it too. I was like, yo, you'll make another record? And he said, when he put his head down like that, he didn't do it in a way like he was beaten. He did it in a way like, I wash my hands with it. Like, I'm done. It's over. Like, he made a final decision. And I said to him, I said, no, you're not. You'll be back.
You said that.
Let's talk about recidivism.
What's up?
Now you back.
What's up? Yeah.
You got a record coming.
Mm-hmm.
You working on.
Yeah.
I was privy,
Yeah.
honored to hear 3 joints in the car when you drove me back from the studio in Brooklyn.
I mean, you kind of always been one of them ears that I would go to when I finished up, and I'll be like, I need an ear. I need an ear. I need not just any ear.
Piece of case.
Like I said, you was always there, bro.
Piece of cake.
Like, each of these endeavors, you always been there.
I love you. I think I'm gonna love you more the way this steak look too, man.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna love you
I'm
more.
listening, man. I'm trying.
Yeah, so we back.
Yeah.
We got a title for the new record?
Yeah, the whole project is called 3016. 3016 is my dad. It's hard when you're like, my dad passed away a couple of years ago.
I noticed you got his badge on
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I
Like
noticed
this
that.
is like, in our family, the oldest son gets it. So it goes to me. When I get older, I pass it to Michael. Michael passes it to his son. But 3016 was his badge number.
What was it like? And forgive me, respectfully, I say
No,
this.
go ahead.
What was it like? Because I know that this is a time that's over, but I know you was in the streets.
Yeah, fact.
What was it like having a dad that's the police? And I'm not gonna say what you was doing. And if you ain't saying it, I'm just saying you were in the streets.
Wait, hold on.
That seemed a little, you know what I mean, a little sticky. Yeah. Did you feel you got in the streets because you was trying to get away from what dad might have represented?
I think with me, bro, I think that if you're intrigued by something, there's nothing anybody can do to not make you intrigued. And I just wanted to know. And aside from that, like
all of us did to a degree.
Facts. And
I can say that. I can
I'll be
admit
the
that.
first one to say I didn't have to. My birth mom was an ad executive at Ebony Magazine.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So when
Mom's was in the loop.
Yeah, my mom, so like when I was a kid, my mom would take me to the Waldorf Astoria to like certain events. And Easter Sunday, I would have to go get fitted.
You was eating steak tartare then, motherfucker.
On the low.
On the low. In front of that
On the low.
motherfucker.
No, but my mama was big on me being cultured. She would not allow me to go to public school at all.
God bless mama. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace.
Marjorie McDermott. So I didn't go to public school actually until my mom passed away.
Yeah.
But in terms of the street, I just had
You chose it.
to know.
You chose it.
I chose it.
It was romanticized.
Exactly. And I was never a sit still person. And not only that, like, you know where I'm from, so certain people from where I'm from.
What was your mother's name?
Marjorie.
God bless Marjorie. Rest in peace.
Yes.
Making Mike Geronimo.
Yeah.
God bless Barbara Holly for making Capone.
Yeah.
God bless Mama Love for making Act. You know what I'm saying? Mothers is important. We gotta salute our mothers, man.
Absolutely.
Word up.
Absolutely.
Salute our mothers, man.
Yeah. Every day, all day. But bottom line, I didn't have to be out there. I just wanted to be. And then when it came to him being police, like, to be honest, I didn't really even think about it. And I knew he knew, that I was outside.
Yeah, bump heads.
Nah.
Got in?
Nah, not really,
Wow.
because when I was really outside, he actually was overseas in Operation Desert Storm.
So you had some leeway. You had some space.
Right, because he was already deployed. And, like, I remember coming in and telling my stepmoms, I was like, yo, I need you to put me on the insurance because I'm going to get a car. And my stepmom, she was just like, what do you mean?
Yeah, what you talking
Like,
about?
what
Yeah.
you talking about? And I came in the bedroom with like the paper, and I was like, "Yo, I wanted a Suzu rodeo, I think at the time.
Rodeos was popping
Right.
then.
It was either a Pathfinder or a rodeo that I wanted at the time.
For y'all don't know, this is the 90s era.
Fact.
Yes, we're older. We're mature men. Right. Hip hop has grown up.
Right.
We're grandfathers.
Now.
We have gray hair.
Right.
Hip hop has grown up. We're not ashamed anymore.
But that's what I wanted, and my stepmom's was hip. Like, she was sharp, so I think she knew right then and there. And she kept, like, watching. She's like, yo, you keep coming in here with
so she alley-ooped the all with the pops too, probably, yeah.
I think she might have told them, but it's funny because right after that, not too long after that was when Irvin, the record deal came. And I graduated school. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. So, because I wasn't certain and I had gotten jammed up, I caught a firearm charge. So the firearm charge, I ain't gonna lie, that shit kind of had me shook. And after I caught the firearm charge, I was like, yo, maybe I'm gonna leave this hustling shit alone. And I did. I tried to, get a regular job. I didn't know where I was going in life, but she knew. So it's just, I guess, funny because how God works, because right at that moment, that's when I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to leave this shit alone. I've been outside. I ran from TNT like at least 11 times one summer, bro.
Oh, man.
And I had enough of it. You know what I mean?
You was a track star, too?
Oh, hard body. Hard body. Nigga, my
Speaking of track star, you training now.
Yeah.
You training now.
Shout
Good
out
shit.
to Coach Cal. Coach
Cal,
I
Coach
see
Cal.
you, bro.
Word up. You training now.
Shout
Another
out
thing.
to Puzzle Life, Coach Cal, put up your Dukes, Gleason's Gym. What's up?
Gleason's Gym, that's what's up. Classic gym.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to ask you too.
What's up?
You said a line. You said, if the world was yours, could you keep it like a nigga like? Could you keep it from a nigga like me?
Why you bringing that up, man? Yeah, I said it. So if we gonna talk about it, it was a pot shot, and I took a pot shot at Nas, and
I took that totally different. That was a pot shot at Nas.
yeah, that was
Peace to Nas. We grown
Shout
now.
out to Nas.
We can talk about it.
Well,
Peace to Nas.
yeah,
That's the
we
bro,
grown.
yeah. A lot of people compared you to him too.
Yeah, we went through a lot in that sense, and I think, to be honest, I can't recall I don't know if the timeline I do recall is accurate, but I think there was already a little bit of a competition going on. And there was a lot of comparisons. And Nas was in our hood because he was dealing with my man Van's sister, Carmen.
Yeah.
So he was
Which was largest. I was actually there when Nas met her.
right.
Yeah, I was actually there.
So that's how I knew him. You know what I mean? Aside from him being, nasty Nas, but long story short, there were comparisons, and we ended up doing a video for Wherever You At.
Wherever
which was
you
one
at,
of my singles.
wherever you are.
Right, and we did
Wherever
a
you
remix.
at, yeah.
Right, we did a remix with these kids called Trauma Unit.
Okay, yeah.
So, my A&R at the time, shout out Brian Lee.
Brian Lee,
Right.
EBT.
Right, Polo Ground Music.
He tried to take my lady. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, we did a video. We shot a video. And my manager at that time was this kid named Dallas that Brian had introduced me to. And they wanted to film the video, which we did. Now, I didn't know Foxy Brown at the time at all. I knew who she was, but I didn't know her. But they invited her to the video shoot.
To your video for
Right.
Wherever
to
you
make
at.
a guest appearance.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I'd never met her before or whatever. So she came to the video and she jumped in it and it was cool. And she did her cameo. And I guess that must have rubbed a couple people wrong on her side of the fence. And so it had came to my attention that a couple people from that side of the fence were trying to make
When you
life
say
difficult.
Nas's people?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't know if it was
Him directly,
people
but
or the firm,
yeah.
or styled or whoever it was, but it made somebody, try to make life difficult for me.
Yeah.
And they did things to make life difficult. And so when I found out about it, and
How'd you find out about it, if I may ask? How'd you find out?
I think the first thing we had heard was that there was a video outlet known as The Box that was based out of Miami.
Okay, I remember that show.
Right, and at
That's where they had the numbers and you.
facts, and you would dial in the number.
Yeah, and then you get to
code,
select the
you
video.
select the video. You
Yeah.
request the video, but you paid for it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
exactly. I remember that.
And I think they had did
That was
some.
out then too. That was out then. The box was out then.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I thought the box was out before that.
It was, but they were still established.
Wow,
Like,
yeah.
I think this was like unbeknownst to us and the box. It was
Yeah.
like right where things were gonna start to change.
Before
and-
the era changed.
Exactly.
Okay, got you.
So you still kind of needed them.
Yeah,
You
okay.
understand what I'm saying? So, they apparently said that they were gonna stop playing the video,
Wow.
and then
No reason.
no reason.
Well, obviously, if somebody is
Right, but they didn't give an explanation.
Kind of, sort of. I wasn't there, so it wasn't me that heard it. Whatever it was, somebody on our side of the fence, I can't remember whether it was Irv or whether it was DJ or whether it was whoever it was. Apparently, it had come to light that somebody else was interfering. And also during that time, Def Jam and TBT were going through their own little pissing contest.
because of the hop over from TVT to Def Jam with Irv and the whole.
Exactly.
I get it. All right.
So someone was making life incredibly difficult, whether it was a personal against me or whether it was a mixture of the two. I was the one who was suffering the consequences. So, we did Usual Suspects, ironically enough, for a Def Jam soundtrack.
That's what kind of confused me. Not to cut you off, but just to add on. That's what kind of confused me because as I looked at the timeline, I said, wait a minute. With the Vendetta album, I was on Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
But this is around the time I know you and Irv had a part in the ways.
Right.
But I was there with
Which if
BJ.
you- right, so if you look at it, we didn't
Really part
have
ways. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a reason why we didn't part ways. Now we're putting the onions in just so people know. And
So how do you do your onions?
you just saute
We circling the block right now. Again, this is On Da Chow. This is good food. We at the tables. Food for thought on all levels, man.
You just saute them, and you
So
don't.
I'm talking back.
So with the onions, you just want to let them cook until they're like soft. And it really doesn't take a lot of time for that to happen. You'll know. Don't cook them too long because then you burn them and they're no good.
What's too long? What's the time on it?
I would say maybe 3 minutes, 4
On
minutes.
your onion game, and you're cooking it in the steak
Right.
juice.
A lot of this all depends, like I said, on texture. It's all about how
taste.
right. It's taste and it's texture.
You
And
looking right though, bro, Zay.
and the way
You
the
looking
thing,
right.
I'm telling you, and the thing that happens is the longer you cook something, the more of the taste you're losing from it. Because you're burning it all up.
Don't OD.
Don't OD.
Just be OD legit,
Right.
but just don't OD.
And so you just want them where they're flimsy and they have that brownish color to them.
Factual. Things is looking gracious.
But back to what we were saying, so we didn't really part ways.
Yeah.
And the reason we didn't really part ways was because it was still of necessity to utilize me.
And each other.
To utilize me, I would say.
You wasn't utilizing him either?
I wouldn't say that because here's why. At that point, Irv was an A&R at Def Jam, and he was an A&R at TVT. And he spent more time at Def Jam than he did at TVT.
Would you spend more time with the Lakers
I
when they were
don't
winning
knock
the
it,
championship?
no, see,
or would you spend more
no,
time with
no,
the
I
Knicks
would.
on the down? I mean, I'm just asking.
If I was him, yeah, absolutely. I'd have been like, all right, I'm coming here Thursday to get my check, which is usually
And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm over here.
right.
Okay.
Now I'm not
Just
saying
so we
that.
clear.
I'm not saying that he didn't say, all right, yo, this is something that Mike could use, so I'm making sure Mike gets in on it. He damn sure did that. You understand what I'm saying?
So how can we feel any way?
I don't feel anything.
All right,
I'm just explaining the scenario.
Okay.
So, I left a part out. This is what did it. Foxy Brown had called my house early on a Saturday because apparently the video came out on Video Music Bot. And when the video came out on Video Music Bot,
Ralph McDaniels.
right, shout out Uncle Ralph.
Speak to Uncle Ralph.
Right.
Always love.
So she calls me and she's like going ballistic. She's like, yo, what the F? Why is this video out? Niggas from the bridge is gonna kill you, blah, 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 blah. So
Foxy said
I
that?
swore on God, on my mom.
Wow.
And I didn't even know how she got my phone number.
But who did she say? She just said niggas from the bridge? Who did she?
I swear to God.
Who was she talking? Oh, that's crazy.
Look, if you don't believe me, go ask Big John what happened.
Wow. That's crazy.
So she calls my house like wilding. Like, yo, niggas from the bridge is gonna do this, that, and the third. I was like, first of all, no one's doing nothing. So let's erase that from whatever you're thinking.
Yeah.
I said, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna call someone to call you back. Milk snatched the phone out of my hand.
Yeah.
And Milk
This was your lady at
At
the
the
time.
time, right.
At the time.
Right, so Milk snatches the phone and she's like, what are you doing calling my house?
Yeah, how'd she get your number? Yeah,
And all of that. And I think that they maybe spoke briefly, and then I called, people I know.
You think maybe Foxy was like, I don't know. I don't got nothing against Foxy.
Now, I don't either. I got love for Inga to this day.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's what's up.
And that's like, we're pretty much good.
So you get this call.
Right, so I get the call, and then I call my folk, and I'm like, yo, I just got a call from her about X, Y, and Z. And mind you, I don't even know what any of this shit is about. So apparently it comes to light that someone on her side of the fence was incredibly offended that she was in the video, that she was sitting on my lap, and that she didn't have, I guess, Dolce & Gabbana on, or Gucci, or whatever she came with is what she was in the video in. I didn't even know her.
They felt she wasn't right.
Right. And I guess to them, that kind of like...
It's a misrepresentation.
Exactly. Now, I don't know if that was the reason, or if it was just a little bit of that and something else, but it was just wrong. And even if that's how you felt, that's not at all how to handle it. But once you go there, I don't have a choice but to go there too.
Yeah.
So that put a lot of tension in the air. And there were already the existing comparisons, and I think something was said by like Stout at that point in time.
Steve Stout?
Steve Stout.
At the time, this is Steve Stout. Steve Stout was the manager of Nas? Or?
I think so at that time.
I know he could.
Because I know he was dealing with Trackmasters, and I think he was actually his management at that time.
Okay.
And so something had came to light in the sense of that I apparently wasn't liked or whatever by that side of the fence. And then once I heard that, I was like, all right, well, if that's how it is, then
Yeah.
okay.
I think the great thing about that is that it turned out to be nothing.
To a degree, to an extent.
What you mean?
Meaning, like it never got beyond that. But then when we did do Usual Suspects and I had that pocket, yeah, I allowed my ego to say, well, this would be a great time for you to let them know how you feel.
Shoot.
Right. And I was like, if you're gonna shoot first. So I shot first.
All right.
And
Was it? Did you get the effect you wanted? Did you hit your mark?
he did a freestyle where he's kind of dissing me and I think it's called Mega at the same time. It's,
Damn, you
it's
educate
over the
me. Educate me.
Boom, 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 boom. It's the Juice Crew beat. He did a freestyle to
Juice Crew beat.
It's a Juice Crew beat.
I gotta dig now, baby.
Boom,
Oh, the symphony.
yeah.
Boom. What? I never heard that.
And
I never heard that either.
I think it's on Clue shit. And
We gonna have to dig in the files
And I kind of couldn't figure, but then at the end he's like, "You skinny buck tooth, blah 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 blah."
Oh, I did hear that.
I was like, "Oh,
You sure that was?
yeah," because he says something about Jamie Foxx in the first down, or some shit.
You right.
And I was like, "Yeah, he's talking about the yellow jacket I had on in the Master IC video."
Yo, Nas is ill.
Right. So
Nas is ill. You got it.
fun.
Yo, Nas is
So
ill.
we
Nas
had
is ill.
fun
Yeah.
with that, and
Good
I'm like,
shit,
okay,
good shit,
so
good shit.
we both know where we stand now.
Yeah, no doubt.
And there was already this like weirdo vibe with us, and I was like, okay.
All right.
But he did it in a way where if you didn't know,
Yeah, you
enough,
yeah. That's why I said he's ill.
it's just
Yeah.
ambiguous. You're like,
Yeah,
yo,
they would have
who's
went
he
over. It would have
talking?
UFO'd
It
you.
shot-
It would have UFO'd you.
Me, I'm at home like, oh. All right.
Yo, hold on. Shout out to Nas.
Shout it out. No, like I said, we could talk
Rich
about
Boys
it.
is different. Rich
Yo,
Boys is different.
Here's what I will say. It's dope that could happen, and then you get older and you think about the whole thing and you laugh. And I'm like incredibly happy for Nas, bro. Like to see what he's done, like regardless of the things that he went through,
Yeah.
and knowing how many people could have brought his career down
And try to get in his way.
and tried to get in his way, and he prevailed. And I have love for him. Like I'll always have love for him. Like he did some real
think
shit.
it's great. I think it's great that for him to even set a challenge for you is a compliment.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
So I was like, after I heard it, I was like, all right, we could either keep going or we could drop it or whatever we're gonna do. But we didn't really after that. But then after that, there was always this kind of standoffish vibe with us. Like I would say what's up, but it was always kind of, so I just left it at that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But what happens, happened. And again, like I said, the beautiful, what I didn't dig about it though was, and I think this was the part that made it difficult for me, and it made it really hard for me to not let my ego take over.
I gotta stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you right there. We're gonna come back.
Yeah.
When we come back,
I
we're gonna let you finish.
I got a good story when we come
We're
back.
gonna let you finish.
Right,
We're gonna come back. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna eat this food. It's beef, but we're not sparking no beef. We're not sparking no beef. We're just keeping it gracious. You know what I'm saying? And we giving you the history of it. So when we come back, we're gonna make a direct deposit right here, right there, and right there, and right here on the channel. Let's get it, baby.
Let's get it.
On the chow.
So we're back on the chow.
Yeah.
Officially, all the way Greenberry. Off the no bullshit. Food for thought. It's going down. We got Mike Geronimo. We just made.
Direct deposit, aka Honey, I'm home.
That's right.
Honey, I'm home.
I think I'm gonna like this direct deposit like a stimulus check.
Yo,
Hey,
bro,
I'm still waiting
don't
on mine.
see- like I said, man, steak solves most things, man. If you gave the world a steak and some weed, then it would just be a peaceful place.
What if a motherfucker's a vegan though?
Look, you gotta work on one thing at a time. I can't help people that have made all of these other choices.
Factual.
We'll squeeze them in somehow, somewhere.
I don't want this to get cold. So can we see what this is about?
sure
Let's get a cheers
Let's
first.
toast. Let's
Get a
toast.
toast first.
Good life, good health, good spirit, good soul, good energy, good
Factual.
times.
Graciously, respectfully.
Yes, sir.
For now on, when we toast, that's what we're gonna toast to. Graciously, respectfully.
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's pretty good.
You go with that?
I'm great with that.
You-
felt it.
I'm gonna wait. I want to see y'all go first.
I need some A1, some
I
dun
so
A1.
happen to
Going
have
just
that
straight
on,
up.
Me, I'm a pepper guy, so I actually put more on after I can.
I
make
gotta
it.
say, it's looking very, very gracious. Uh-oh. Gotta shake the
It
bottle.
never let me down. I'm telling you, whenever my
So where
dad
you
would
get this
make
bottle
this,
from, man?
it would never let me down.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Be careful with that, cause it's gonna all come right. bloop.
It's coming. It's coming
too
down.
much.
The onions add that extra.
You had a
layer.
bite already.
Hell yeah, I went in.
How is it?
It's really good.
Okay.
It's very.
Okay.
Let me see what your inside's looking like. No freak.
Hey.
No freak.
Yo, hey, yo.
Listen, I ain't even got to say all that. I'm a warrior. Let me see.
Hey, yo.
That's me.
Nice.
That's
Damn, I should have took that.
You wanted
well done.
that extra one.
I wanted the extra ooh ah.
The ooh ah.
Nah, I know what I got, and I got what I want. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I'm just doing it for
this
TV,
is
baby.
This is thick and hearty. Right.
That's why I was slow mo.
Yeah, that's why I was slow mo.
That's why I was slow mo. We gonna take this down.
I usually don't even use the ketchup. I let the steak sauce play the ketchup role for me. You know, so what do you say? So, like, for real?
Come on, man.
On my mama?
When was I ever not for real?
I
with
know,
you?
too. But on your mama, too?
They too great for that. This is good enough.
I love you, too.
Going in for the fry
Let's
now.
keep this thing respectful.
Going in for the fry
You
now.
going for the fry? Alright, here I go. Let me see. What did I do today? Let's see.
I know y'all out there watching this right now. And y'all like, all right, where's the rest of the interview? But hold the fuck up.
We gotta eat first.
Yeah.
When you get it like this,
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this.
the only thing I didn't taste yet was the onions. I've been coached not to talk while doing the interview, not to eat while doing the interview, not to eat while doing the interview. But for me, you know, rule number one is there are no rules. But this is very good. This is very gracious. Respectful.
It has never let me down in life, yo. This meal has never let me down.
You and Lord Jamal, I gotta say, y'all got them get back in the crib meals. Like if you fuck up, don't fuck up. And I know you're not. Neither am I. And neither is Ad. But this is one of them get back in the crib meals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some grown man, like, baby, sit down. Let me talk to you. I was wrong. I apologize.
Right. Then you swoop in.
Honey, I'm home.
I'm sorry. Honey, I'm home. Direct deposit.
That's it.
That's a couple different meanings, doesn't
Stimulus check. It's just that stimulus check.
After the meal, it usually switches.
Exactly.
It's that grown loan, you heard?
Yeah. So after the meal, it usually flows into another meaning, another side.
Different deposit. My plate is shaky.
Can we talk? Can we talk now while we eat?
Shoot.
We can do that. It's my show. Of course we can do that, right? It's our
Yeah,
show.
let's go.
You shoot, I grab the wheel. I tell you that
Facts.
all the time.
Alley-oop. We alley-oop it back and forth. Major boomerang. You looking good out here, brother. I love to see that.
I appreciate it.
We come from an era where hip hop was at its apex. We got to experience the tunnel.
Yeah.
We got to experience
Home base.
landmarkable. I know that is a word.
Yeah.
I'll talk Fallion. Landmarkable landmarks. People think that you coming in the movement, you coming in the game, you and Irv, it wasn't just music. Like the movie Belly was a total different direction from the music, but still infused the music, of course, because the music is life.
Right.
But I could recall Irv telling me Belly might have been loosely about somebody's story that you mentioned on one of your records. I think his name was Monday.
Yeah, fact. Shout out to Al Monday. What's up, bro?
Who was-
Fun fact, with Belly, we actually shot shout out Hype Williams.
This is Hype Williams we're talking about.
So Hype shot Master IC on Super Bowl Sunday, and we actually shot the not trailer, but it's what they used to show the visual idea of Belly.
Kind of like a Sizzler.
Exactly.
What year was this?
Whatever year Master IC came out. But when we shot Master IC, we actually shot what they took to the production company, the movie company. And that's how I was supposed to do the part that Nas did in Belly.
Get the fuck out of here. You was going to be sincere?
Yeah.
You would have been a good sincere too. Nas nailed it, but you would have actually been, you got that demeanor.
Well, Monday actually told Herb that he wanted me to be that role.
So what the fuck happened?
me and Irv just hit a rocky patch, and once we hit the rocky patch, Nas got the part. And that's okay, that's cool. But yeah, Belly's based on my man Monday's story.
Who was Monday though? Where's he from? Cause I'm from Queens. And like I was telling.
Monday I met through Irv.
Okay. He was from Queens.
I believe so. But Monday like was everywhere, bro. And he was always there. You know what I mean? And then unfortunately, like he was around when I first came out. So when I was first doing those shows at like the Q Club and Shit's Real had just dropped, Monday was still free. You know, Feds got him, and he's going for a while. He actually just came home this year.
Wow.
So, yeah, so shout out.
So he's
to
home.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Monday. I want to meet Monday.
You will.
I want to meet Monday.
I could definitely say, like, I know we're going to catch up, but we became good friends, bro. And then Monday became like a big brother to me.
You spoke it earlier how a couple times how you and Irv hit rocky points, and I know even in my history and my journey, there's no secret. Me and Nori have hit rocky points. Just recently, me and Mano squashed the beef.
Good for you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, factual.
That's what's up.
We grown, man.
Shout out Mano.
Yeah, peace to Mano. We're gonna get in the kitchen, have some kitchen talk, and get on the chow. But
On the chow.
On the chow, factual. It's bigger than Nino Brown.
Facts. It always was, right though? When you think about it. It's just we was kids, bro, and we came up
until we learned it was bigger. What's that right there? Give me that. Push the plate over.
You want this?
Just push the plate over. Okay?
Oh, you want
this? Help me talk better. We both came up in an interesting time. There was a lot going on in what some may deem as the end of Murda Inc. Came under federal investigation. Did the feds investigate you?
I never, it's so weird, bro, because God is like, okay, so I left TVT like literally right before all the Fed shit happened. And the way that I say it in my head is, like, I know there's no way they weren't watching. Like, it's just logically impossible. But I say to myself, for some strange reason, God just was like, here, take this is a rope, and grab it. And I'm gonna pull you up.
And don't look back.
And don't look back. And you're gonna go through some things, and you're gonna go through some stuff that is not gonna be pleasant, but at the end, you're gonna be a better person for it. So when I left, it was like right at the cusp of the feds getting ready to, like, I guess.
So they never questioned you?
Not once. The most I saw or the most I heard was that I think one time they were saying something at TVT to the extent of, like, they may want to come up and ask me something regarding, the X, Y, and Z. But I didn't really think much of it.
What was X, Y, and Z?
I mean, get whatever it was, I guess they were looking into, but
I mean, it's public knowledge.
What
I'm not,
did.
you know what I mean?
No,
I just want to make that clear.
I guess they, I guess if they wanted to probe, or they may have gave an indication that possibly they wanted me to talk or answer some questions or whatever, but no one ever came. And like I said, the day I woke up and left TVT, that wasn't anything that was on my mind. It wasn't anything that was on Blunt's mind, TVT's mind. It was a very spontaneous occurrence. And then after it did happen, what I would just say to myself is, well, if they did keep a fucking eyeball on you, and more than likely they did, then they probably noticed that all you fucking did was smoke weed and go to this chick's house and go to the studio, and there wasn't much to you past that. And that's how I look at it, So, God works funny, bro. It works very funny.
All the time.
Yeah.
And when that was happening, where were you musically? Like when that investigation was taking place, was that Vendetta? Was that
No,
that was before that?
This was after.
It was
After all of that.
Yeah, I was actually, when I left TBT, I was about maybe halfway through my third album that I was supposed to turn into. I never got the chance to finish that album because I left before I finished it.
So you started doing songs there, though.
Yeah.
How many songs did you do?
You
probably had like 5, 6 songs.
More than that because
where are those songs at?
Some I actually found. Like I actually have. There's a song me and Buck Wild did called "In the World." That's incredibly eerie because in the song I'm talking about the World Trade Center falling and
before.
Yeah, way before it happened.
Wow, interesting.
Which kind of was like crazy, but I found that one. I did like a really big load of songs with Ty Fife because we had went to.
Ty Fife used to be my DJ too. That's crazy.
Stop playing.
I never play.
Shout out Ty Fife.
Peace, love to Ty Fife. That was my DJ.
Yeah, we were in Bearsville.
Then he became LL's DJ.
Yeah.
He was my DJ first.
Okay.
Met him at Hot Wax.
So we locked in and we were at Bearsville. Bearsville is like a recording facility that's in upstate New York.
Yeah, that's when Nori met 50 Cent.
Yeah,
Nature was there.
I think Slick Rick like just left before I came up there.
Factual.
So we were in Bearsville, and you know in Bearsville you can't really do anything other than record.
Or go to the store.
And
go back and record.
And
smoke some weed.
And that's it. So we did a bunch of songs in Bearsville. I think I came down and I started working with Havoc. Like I think I was doing something where I was recording with Havoc.
That's my big little brother right there.
In fact, and I shot back up to Bearsville. And then I wasn't shit because on Sunday nights I would sneak from Bearsville and drive to the tunnel and go party in the tunnel.
No, that's everything. You're supposed to do that.
Right, and then I would drive back.
What are you, like 24?
Yeah.
You're supposed to do that, motherfucker.
So I would steal the truck.
Babies.
Like, I think they rented us Tahoes or some shit. So I, like, jacked one of the Tahoes. I drove down to the city. I went to the tunnel. I stayed there till, like, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Then I drove all the way back to Bearsville. And that's pretty much what it was. But some of the songs I actually was able to get my hands on.
That's dope. I'm a stickler at keeping the energy of that era alive. And you know just as well as I know, it wasn't just the music because I believe we come from a time, I would like to believe, we come from a time where the streets dictated the music.
Yeah.
As opposed to now where the music kind of dictates the streets. And a lot of kids get caught up in shit that they're not ready for and they shouldn't even be doing.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
And I'm guilty of a lot of that too.
Yeah.
We also have
we all are.
Yeah, but now it's grown, man. You have a business now.
Mm-hmm.
You have one of you have an A-list locksmith business in the city, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot of growth to go from hip hop and, you know, we come from the era trying to be tough and, you know what I'm saying? And then we realize, listen, you know what? I have to make a means for myself. I have to make a means for my family and I have to be a man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was weird, bro, because my wife's cousin Oz, shout out to Oz in Israel. And shout out my whole family in Israel. Abba, Ema, I love y'all. But my wife's cousin Oz had this very big contracting company. I just came back from Long Island.
From the Hamptons.
Right. And he called me one day and he's like, you're not doing anything, you're just smoking weed. Why don't you come with me to the Apple store in Columbus? You could help us change out the flat screens in the Genius bar. Because they had Apple as an account, whatever. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I go, and we're there. And Oz knows I know tools. And if you ever work with Israelis, they're like very, everything's this.
Punctual?
No, it's not punctuality. It's, okay, there should be no downtime for anything. And I shouldn't have to tell you much. Everything should be, if you know, then I, Kien is yes in Hebrew. You know, all right, Ken, go. Y'all go. Just go do.
Get it done.
Right. So he knew I knew.
You know better, you do better. Keep it pushing.
Right. No, he's just like, you know what to do.
Yeah,
you know
handle
what to
it,
do
handle
with the tool. So I do. And he's telling his crew, he's like, Mike don't need help. Like, he knows. And I just so happened to see this kid who worked for Apple struggling to get in the inventory gate. Like, if you go in an Apple store, all the inventory is kept in like a safe place that's
In the
like
back.
behind.
In the back.
It's very,
You go in, you see a representative.
right, and they'll go through those double doors, but those double doors are extra secure. Like, there's gates, and then there's passcodes and all this shit to get to them. I'm watching them struggle with the gate.
This is how you became a locksmith?
But, and I just randomly, bro, went over with like a flathead screwdriver. I just started tinkling with the last file.
When I did that shit, I got locked up.
It was all luck, bro. Like, but now I look at it and I'm kind of like, all right, it wasn't luck. It must have been that thing that's bigger than all of us that was like, all right, you need to do this because in this movie you do this, which leads to that.
Get copy.
He gets in the gate. I open the gate. Don't know how I did. I just did it. And then Oz was like, if I introduce you to someone that would teach you how to do that, you know, they make really good money. Would you want to learn? And I was like, yeah, why not? And then he hit me like, yeah, but you're a rapper, you know.
Wow. You got the rapper.
No, he
You
knew,
got the rapper label on you.
But he knew what he was doing. He was pushing my buttons on purpose.
Yeah, of course,
He's like,
yeah.
yeah, but you're a rapper. You want to smoke all day, and then you want to get up when you want.
Rappers don't do that.
No, yeah, right.
Rappers don't smoke all day
Right,
and
Paris-
don't wake up early in the morning.
Paris was thought. So he's like, look, if I put you on, you gotta take it serious. Now me, you know, I have that Marty McFly shit where like if you call me chicken or if you dare me,
You gonna step it up.
oh yeah, I'm jumping off a cliff first. So I tell him, I'm like, yeah, I'll
Best
do it.
nation is donation.
Oh, you need more.
Damn, listen, bro.
So he tells me he's gonna introduce me to this guy named Asi. Shout out my brother Asi.
Peace to Aussie. Shalom.
Yeah, shalom. So he links me with Asi, and I spent like a year and a half as an intern or as, you know, an apprentice.
Wow, that's dope.
And he didn't pay me, and I told him he didn't
That's
need
dope.
to. And I'd get up every morning at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I'd get on the train. I'd meet Asi. We would both drive around New York in this little ass smart car, which like it was dope because the dopest part was it put my ego through the ringer. And the reason I say that is because, you know, you come in the game and you could be the most humble soul in the world, but let's face
This
it.
will change you. That's right. This game will
Once you
change
get in
you.
the game, bro, you're not waiting online at a club.
Yo, that's such and such.
Right.
Yo, come here, you.
You're not buying clothes because, you know.
You walk and you get it free.
What? You're not. There's so much that you're not doing.
But that's the head game.
Right. And you become accustomed to it. And then you eventually start to think that this is how the real world is, and it's not at all.
You feel entitled.
Right. So this puts my ego through the ringer because I'm like, okay, here I am in this tiny fucking
Smart car.
quarter of a car. If you even want to call this a car.
Yeah.
And I'm like this next to Asi, and we're driving everywhere. And
Was it hot? What was it? Winter,
it
summer?
was all 4 seasons. I was there for a
You
year.
in there like, you going
And I
in
hop
there
out,
loud.
and I'm mad self-conscious because I'm like, oh, they're gonna be like, yo, that's Mike Geronimo. Why is he in that little ass car?
Like,
Oh shit.
Oh, why does he have to? Oh, he must be doing bad. So my ego's going through all of this.
That's deep.
And I get to the point where I tell my ego, I'm like, yo, bro, why don't you just shut the fuck up
Yeah,
and
fuck
take a
you.
back seat?
When'd you ever feed me?
Right. Why don't you just shut up? Put a fucking sock in it. Just get here. Just learn it. Just do it.
Yo, somehow you pull off I should shut up. But I'm an artist too, though.
What?
Somehow you pull off the best interviews. It's shit like that. Go ahead.
What?
That shit is profound right there.
That's what fucking happened. I'm telling you what.
But it's profound, though. But it's fucking profound.
No, so I did that, and then I never forget like the day like he was like, we have a job, oddly enough, across from Daddy's house of all places. And there's like a film supply store across from Daddy's house. Like I think they provide lighting or whatever it is for people that want to shoot videos.
The 40 streets.
Right. And Ossie tells me, he's like, yeah, Mike, just go, put the floor mount in, for the lock and blah, blah, blah. So I go do it. And he knows I've never done it.
And this is how long after, like, being an apprentice?
No, this is like my last day, unbeknownst to me.
Okay. This was your test?
I guess so. Because I put the floor mount in or whatever, and he just looks at me and he's like, okay, man, you could go start your company. You don't need me anymore. And I was like, kind of like, oh, does this mean I don't come in tomorrow? And he was like, yeah, you don't come in tomorrow.
You do your own thing.
Right.
You're your own man.
The rest of your life starts now. And I did not want to not come back the next day.
Because you got used to kind of being...
That, and I was terrified.
Yeah.
Of, okay, so you're just going to send me out in the woods by myself? And he was like, man, your biggest problem is your confidence. Just jump in the water, Mike, and swim. If you jump in the water and swim, there's nothing you won't be able to do. And that was the first lesson I ever got from anyone about, if ever you doubted that you didn't come with all the things that you need already to get to wherever you've dreamt of going and further, I'm here to tell you that you're the reason you're not. And I left, bro, and we started Embassy, and I never forget my first job. It was a nightmare. It was this lady named Marilyn in Brooklyn. Hi, Marilyn, love you. I was at her door for like 6 hours. I cut both my hands. I had to call somebody else to help me cut steel. I wrestled with this lock all fucking night, and all I could say in my head was, this lady is not gonna pay me at all. I finally got the lock in. She paid me, and she tipped me $60 extra. And I was like, why did you give me $60? And she said, honey, because you didn't give up.
You held on. You hanged on.
And now, bro, like a decade later, actually we're on our 11th year. We've won the Customer Service Award 7 years consecutively on Home Advisor and Angie's List. I have clients that are from all different walks of life. One of my clients is one of the original 10 founders of Microsoft. I have people like that.
From Microsoft to Mikey Bass.
Exactly. I got from them.
What's the name of your company? Just put that out there.
Embassy Locksmith.
Embassy Locksmith.
But we have another division now called ESI, which is Embassy Security Installation. And that's more so now because we're doing like full access entry systems. We do commercial. We do camera installation,
residential.
Biometric. I do residential and commercial.
Okay.
But ESI, we're designating more for commercial. And regular Embassy, that's for all my clients that from day one they've been with us. Or if it's a residential thing,
it's like a gold card. You got a gold card.
Yeah. So it's just...
That's dope, man. Congrats. Yeah. Let's get a cheers to that.
I appreciate it, bro.
Let's get a cheers to that.
Talk.
Before we wrap it up,
that's some real shit.
Before we wrap it up, I want to say this. We also have another brother in common that I have a high respect for.
Oh, you the big homie.
The big homie.
The big homie.
The big homie.
Yeah, I call the big homie Pop. I still call him Pop to this day. And that's like my other, not to take anything away from my dad, but if ever in life you can have something like that, then he would be the closest thing to, all right, your dad's not here, but there's this person here that we're going to send to.
I like to believe that I'm misunderstood a lot by
Me
my
too.
intentions, from my intentions, because of how people read things.
Right.
And when I say that, I always think about the big homie.
Right.
Because the big homie always, like, people, when people would see me with the big homie, they would automatically think, yo, what is he doing to Trage?
Yeah, I know.
When
I
in
know
all
that.
reality, I was getting more from him than he was ever giving to me.
People don't get that.
No, like I was getting more from him than I was ever giving to him.
Exactly.
I meant to say, excuse me. 3 valuable things I learned from him, man. And you know, men like that, and I say that with great credit
Hell yeah.
to his character.
Absolutely.
And you know, I'm nobody's cheerleader,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to, you know, go on too much in that vein. But I would like to say, because we also have that in common.
Mm-hmm.
We have the big homie in common. When I say the
He
big
definitely
homie,
had love for you.
I'm talking about Supreme Kenneth McGriff.
Shout out Preem. I love you, bro. Love you, love you, love you. Real talk.
Different fabric, different design
Mm-hmm.
of man and character.
All together. Mm-hmm.
How did you meet Preem?
I actually met Preem because of Irvin Chris. So I heard of him growing up, but I didn't really think much of. You know, I'm like, all right, I heard of him, I know who he is, whatever. But I never forget the day we met. It's kind of like you meeting somebody that you felt like you always knew. It felt like meeting a family member, and then it was weird because he actually, my cousin Rev.
Mother Turkey?
Yeah,
Mother Turkey.
So Mother Turkey.
Yo, peace to Mother Turkey.
So Mother Turkey, Preem called him Lil Furt. Lil Furt or Mother Turkey is blood related because my Aunt Beej is Big Homie's, I think his mom's sister. Or something to that extent. So we have
when we not the country, just for the people. Mm-hmm. When we talk about Big Homie or we talk about Supreme Kenneth McGriff, we talk about the so-called one who was aligned with being the head of the Preem team, allegedly, and coming under federal investigation from the feds with Murda Inc. as to being the one funding Murda Inc. Which in the end, Murda Inc. was.
That was all bullshit.
Yeah, it was all bullshit.
He never.
Go ahead, but continue.
He never. Anything we did, we came up with the way. And honestly put, I was a baby, so Earth came up with the way. But it was never what they were trying to paint it out to be. Never. Not for a minute. But it's just funny because then I came to find out that there actually is a family connection to it. Like, Prince would call the crib and I'll speak to Prince while I'm at Reb crib.
Gerald?
Yeah.
Palm South, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Prince. So Prince would call and I'll speak to Prince on the phone and shit. And then, like, Irvin them didn't even know that. So they didn't even know the connection between Reb,
Mother Turkey.
Mother Turkey.
How's Mother Turkey doing?
Mother Turkey is chill right now. Mother
That's
Turkey
my guy,
is real good. I'm actually trying to get him to come out here Thursday, but I'll let him know. I'm gonna pass it along.
Give him my high regards,
I know. Just looking at you, I got you.
All right.
He's good though. He's in like a good place.
That's gracious.
You understand?
He's always a good dude.
Yeah, fact. And so then it was that, and then once it was that, we clicked. And there was so many things that now that I'm, like I said, when you're older, you realize more. So it's like I'll play things back in my head and I'm like, well, yeah, he would always, there's things he would do with me that he wouldn't do.
Bracelets.
With other.
He might give you, if he fucks with you, give you a nice bracelet.
Yeah, or he would just have me around certain things, or there would be times where it would be like, well, I'm going some, Mike, come on.
Yeah, that's what he called you. That's a fact. I was there. I know.
Mike, come on.
That's a factory.
So I would just soak up as much as I could, and he loved so much that, like, he would always tell me, you're different, you read.
Receptive.
And you think.
Yeah.
And so I don't want you around.
The bullshit.
Right, because you're the best part of it.
So now we got this record. You seem like you keeping it under wraps, though.
Well,
Say the title again.
3016. Or the single? The single
title,
Smoke.
The title 3016. What that mean?
3016 is
He
my
told us.
dad's badge number.
I want him to say it again.
3016
is your dad's badge
that's
number.
my dad's badge number, and that's the title of my last joint.
That's what's up.
3016.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Your last one.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
Mike.
This is it.
Mike.
The first one's Smoke. The first single.
First single is Smoke. Yeah.
This is your last album?
Yeah.
Are we back on the porch?
Kills me, man, with this. You kill me with this.
Are we back on the porch?
I was gonna say, like, remember the last
We're back
time
in
when
the
you looked at
mansion.
me and you was like, yo, you lost your marble.
Yo, you're not. This is
And I
not
was
your
trying
last
to-
album,
But
bro.
listen, you know there's always a method to my madness.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, both of y'all different. Y'all ain't the rest of the world. Y'all is, if I was keyed up, you'd beat it. So I can say it with y'all, like, bro, I don't need anything in this world, bro. You understand me? Like, I have those kids, I have Shelly. I've been fortunate enough to go places I never thought I'd go and meet people I never thought I would meet. And I've been fortunate enough to have some fraction of this world listen to something I said.
This is not your last album.
It's my last album.
Are you having fun doing it? Or you had fun doing
I'm
it?
having
It's
more
finished.
fun. No, it's not. I'm
It's
not
not
even-
finished?
I'm adding like little things to. I can't. No, let me take that back. Whoa, because what's being added is not at all little. But I just want to feel that I gave everything. And really the catalyst for me even doing this was my dad. My dad was the one who, you know, I went to see him before he passed away. I mean, I think I saw him like maybe 4 days before he passed away.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, and it was so weird because it was like the first time he had ever really acknowledged and commended me on like the music. So he's like, yeah, my man, I was on YouTube and I'm watching all these people talking about my kid, and there's people from Russia and there's people from France, and Jesus Christ, Michael, I didn't know you were all over the world like this, and all these people were talking about
How'd that make
my
you
baby.
feel?
It was weird, bro, because when my dad heard shit's real, his first sentence was, so where's the check?
I'm not fucking mad at him though. I'm not mad at him.
Pops ain't playing.
No, so it was on BLS. They just played it. I'm like lit. I'm looking at him like, yo, you just heard me on the radio? And he's like, yeah, but where's the check? So to go from that to, oh my God, I didn't know the world felt this way about my baby and Michael.
Cause he's like, oh, this is my son. That's it.
And when he said that, bro, I was like, yo, guess what? You were waiting for that. You just didn't know that you were waiting to hear him say that. And when he did say it, I didn't even know how to take it.
There was a completion.
Yeah.
And guess what? Right now, we're gonna spin this around because you're not done. And remember, I said this.
All right.
Yo, Mike Geronimo.
He did this last time, and I did
Mike
the same thing. I was
Geronimo,
like, all right.
about to drop the album. We just had a direct deposit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We just had a direct
Honey, I'm
deposit.
home.
Honey, I'm home. Direct deposit. Let's go with direct deposit. We just had a direct deposit. Mike Geronimo, he about to drop the album. And remember I said it on the Chow again. This is not his last album. But I'm glad it's not. Love you, bro.
I love you.
Factual, you know?
Yeah.
Everything ooh-ah.
Always.
On the Chow, it's over.
Yes, yes, yes.
Love you, bro.
We out.
Boom!
Jack, my
On the
recipe.
Chow, baby.